Hey guys, I just got finished doing 2 videos. One of them was the F&M for this week, so that'll come out on Friday, around 7 p.m. probably or something. And the other one is Why I Love Shao Kahn, so that'll be coming out on my gaming channel really fucking soon as I get a chance to edit it. Editing it is kind of going to be hard. So I have my lighting set up right now, and I'm putting my tiny iPhone tripod on top of my real tripod for my real camcorder. And I decided I have the shit set up, so why don't I just do the vlog here? Today I want to talk about my breast augmentation, or my boob job, and kind of give a little bit more insight into why I do these body modifications and why I don't think that it is shallow at all, or why I don't see it as something that's... Wow, someone called me in the middle of making my fucking video. Anyway, so it's not disrespecting my body, it's not me being insecure or anything like that, and I want to kind of give a little insight into how I think about things and why I do the things that I do, and why I don't see any problem with making your body, the one that you get in your entire life, the way you think is perfect and always improving, and that's always something, it's great to have goals. So basically, I was 13 when I went into modeling school, and I really didn't like anything about modeling school because it was all about, it focused around doing like fashion catalog type stuff and being tall and being poised and being very proper, and you can't say pluck your eyebrows, you can only say tweeze your eyebrows because that would be, you know, kind of mannish and blah, and you had to wear these types of high heels and do these kinds of things, and this is your summer and this is your autumn, and you can only do certain shit. You can't have the certain hair color that I like because it doesn't go with your skin tone, and like a bunch of like voodoo shit that to this day I don't even follow because a lot of it is just bullshit. But I did learn a really valuable lesson back then, is that the tomboy things that I like video games and being active and all the stuff that I like that pertains more to men, is not the only thing that I like. I learned that I can have diverse interests, and I learned my passion for doing makeup. I started out they gave me this like kit in modeling school, with a bunch of like low-end makeup just to like get you started out doing makeup. And they taught you how to do certain things and have certain makeup in such a way that makes things geometrically look sound on your face. Like, you bring out your lips more in order to make them in line with your eyes and certain stuff. And that's when I started seeing things scientifically about the way that you're supposed to look. And I made my own ideas and my own impressions from that, kind of, and I was like, I don't agree with this, I do agree with this, I don't agree with this, I do agree with this, and it became kind of a science to me the way I wanted to look. I was like, okay, I want this size of a nose and this size of lips and this type of symmetry, and it was all just very interesting to me, and I geeked out about it the way I geek out about like a new video game coming out that I loved, or that I got a new video game. It was like new makeup, new video games. Those are both very exhilarating and exciting for me. So when I was turning 18, I decided that I wanted a boob job, and the reason I came about this is I was looking at myself and I was like, you know, my body's starting to get pretty fit because I started working out, and I learned a lot about personal training from going to college simultaneously with high school. So I was taking a bunch of nutritional classes and things that I would have to take to get my personal training certification. And that became another thing that I geeked out about, like having the correct portions and working out a lot and seeing the improvements in my body was just so fucking amazing and exhilarating and exciting. And I was like, yes! Oh, more improvements! This is fucking awesome! And I got excited about that stuff, like you would get excited about your new carburetor coming in to fix your car, or like getting a new paint job on it, and it was just something that was really artistic and fun to me, and I was like shaping and sculpting this like perfect person on myself. And there's no canvas more important than your own body or than your own face. And so for me, it's like something that I do for myself, something that I do that is fun for me, and it's a hobby, and improving myself makes me happy and makes me feel more energetic, and I get excited when I get something new, and it's like another hobby. It's like video games, it's like working on cars, it's like literally anything. It's like painting, the card altars that I do for Magic, where I draw sexy girls on Magic. That's like really fun for me, just like putting on makeup is. I've never looked in the mirror and wanted to cry because of the way I looked. I've never looked in the mirror and been emotional about it, and it might stem from me not being a very emotional person in the first place, and me seeing everything as like scientific proportions and like my opinion just of how I should look just being something that is like a vision for art. It's never been me crying that I don't look as pretty as another girl. I've never really compared myself to other people in the same way that I've never really had any people that I looked up to on a grander scale. Like, I would be like, I like Pamela Anderson's tits, I like this girl's nose, I like this girl's face, but I never idolized anyone. I was always like, I want to combine all these nice traits that I've seen along with some other ones that I've made up and make this like super perfect person. And perfection is it's like obviously not a fact, right? So it's just the way that I think, and it's what I like, and I don't really care what anyone else thinks at all. If it makes me happy, then I'm happy about it, and it's not gonna sway me if someone says I look too fake, or I'm, disrespecting God, or disrespecting my body. In my opinion, in my personal opinion, you are disrespecting your body if you're ashamed of it, so you don't want to show it off, if you aren't giving it the attention it needs so that it's healthy, and if you're not making it look the way that you want it to look. Like, if you envisioned your perfect self, if you're not working toward that, you're disrespecting your body. And being comfortable in your own skin is something that's very, very valuable in life, and it brings confidence about, and it's just fucking amazing. So when I turned 18, I was looking at my chest proportions, and I was like, I have this nice torso where, like, most of my fat goes to my legs and ass, and so I have these, like, wide hips, and I have a very nice torso up top, but my chest is just a little bit too small in proportion. The proportion that okay, so people would say that my boobs are definitely out of proportion. People would say that, for sure. But when I look at it, I like big, huge, fake, stuck-on tits on a tiny girl. And I have, a small frame. I have, like, small bones. I have, like, really, really small wrists. If you were, like, to grab my wrist, you would, like, overlap a lot. Unless you're, like, a small girl like me, and then it would probably be the same. But, I liked that idea, and I got excited about that idea, so I was like, I'm gonna get a fucking boob job. Like, I'm gonna start researching it and see if it's something that I want to do. And it wasn't like something that I set in stone. It wasn't something that, like, if I couldn't do it because there were too many risks, I would cry about it, or I would compare myself to girls who have perfect boobs and, like, want to kill myself or be insecure, or I didn't have any problems being in a bikini. I loved my body. I just wanted it to be improved the way that I thought was, my ideal, and that's just how it was. It was never anything where I was having, like, a moral dilemma in my head. So I went around and talked to a bunch of different doctors, and I did a lot of research online, like, so much so that it consumed my entire life, because I knew that this was going to be a big decision in my life, and I knew if I was going to change something about my body that I love so much, that I've worked so hard on, I want to make sure I know everything about it. So I learned everything that can happen badly, from somastia to, like, hematomas, seroma, like, everything. I learned everything. I learned about capsular contracture and all of these things that can happen. And it seemed like the things that are possible to happen are all aesthetic. Like, it's all like capsular contracture, where you don't really have cleavage anymore because you breach the gap here and then it looks kind of weird. Or, did I say capsular contracture? I meant somastia. I don't know if I said it wrong, but in my head it's, like, replaying wrong. Anyway, so that's somastia. Capsular contracture is where the capsule around the implant hardens because it's trying to reject it, and then it just looks a little bit hard, and you have to get a revision. And everything was just like, oh, you just get a revision. And all of the medical issues that you might have, like bleeding too much, etc., were all the same risks that you would have if you went under anesthesia for anything else, like literally any other thing. So yes, you are putting yourself at a slight amount of risk because you're going into surgery, but people go into surgery for fucking wisdom teeth all the time. So you're more likely to fucking die in any random car ride that you have, or have any issues in any random car ride that you have, than actually going into surgery. And it's not a big risk. It's not something that is life-changing, other than, life improving, because you now look better, have more confidence, you like the way you feel, and everything just seems to be in proportion with your body and how you want your body to be. So, I decided, yes, this is something I'm gonna do. My first doctor was Dr. Gottlieb. He's very popular in Seattle. I do not recommend him whatsoever. The first tip-off I got that he was not someone I wanted to go through the surgery with is because he said he uses the teardrop-shaped implant in every single girl and won't go over 370 cc's. Now, I'm 575 cc's. The fact that he thinks that a girl with my rib cage, or a girl with a huge rib cage, or like a little Asian girl with a tinier rib cage, should all have the same shape and type of implants depending on their different preferences and everything, was just like, you are literally just going like, this is what you need, yep, next, this is what you need, yep, next, and just selling the exact same thing to the exact same girl out of laziness because you have a lot of clients and you have enough money and you don't actually give a shit about your patients. And that's exactly how I felt. So I kind of stopped going to all of the people in Seattle and realized that I was lucky to not be in LA, because LA doctors would probably treat me that way as well. Like, I'm just another paycheck, 1 out of 15 that week, and it wasn't really up to what I wanted. Like, he was pretty much just being like, I don't want to work extra on you to get what you want and to do what you want done, because I don't have time for this shit, I have enough clients, fuck you, and I was like, oh, this guy's awful. So I went to my doctor that I've had do everything on me. He's in Montlake Terrace, Washington, which is kind of a little bit out of the way. He has his own practice, his own surgical suite, and he is so artistic. He draws and paints and like posts that stuff on the wall. Posts on the wall. Sounds like Facebook or something. He hangs it on the wall, like his own art, and his art is beautiful, and he has like an idea of proportions, and he's very artistic about it, and that's what I loved about him. He's very calm. He's obviously not like emotional or trying to steal my money, or it just got a very good and calm vibe from everyone there. And he was like, oh, you want boobs that big? Well, you have a really small rib cage. That's kind of risky. We might get some astia. And I'm like, okay, so there's nothing we can do. And he's like, well, we can go with Mentor Spectrums. Now that's the kind of implant that I got. I was 18 or 19 at the time when I got my implants, so I couldn't get silicone because there's a rule that you have to be 22 to get silicone implants in the state of Washington. But I was fine with saline because I touched them and they were great. And he said I can go up to 575 cc's as long as I go with Mentor Spectrums. And Mentor Spectrums are like these, they're like fillable. I don't know how to explain it. I've explained it before, but they start out like C's, and then he gradually pumps in more cc's of saline into this little fill port underneath my boob. And we did that for a couple months, and then he removes the fill port, and then it's my natural size. And they would stretch gradually so I would have no complications. And Dr. Baxter worked with me like so much and so in depth that he was able to get exactly what I wanted without any like complications whatsoever. Like I have zero complications. My nipples aren't desensitized. I don't have any Snoopy boobs. I don't have anything. Like I love my boobs. They're absolutely perfect, and I love that my doctor put a little bit of extra time in me to get them perfect exactly the way I wanted them to. So I really appreciate that. I always recommend Dr. Baxter. I've had like 2 or 3 model friends go to him. I've gotten my lips done, my nose done, and literally everything with him. And he's always trying to do, like, even if he disagrees, and like he is more of a doctor that wants to get the natural look. And I was like, I don't like that. And he's like, oh, you don't like that? Okay, let's get what you want. And he made sure I got what I wanted without ruining my body, which I really appreciate. And I didn't have to do any superfluous surgeries to get anything corrected, and it was just wonderful, and I highly recommend it to anyone. I fucking love looking at my tits, playing with my tits, so it's no wonder why I am not shocked that people like to look at them and that people like fan service on the internet. I see no problem with that. And I feel like if you understand that every single person is a sexual being and that every single person, you know, likes to be looked at and likes to look at other people, then all of these things that you're doing that are superficial don't really seem that bad anymore, because you know that, you know, we're all biologically prone to looking at sexy versions of the sex that we're attracted to. So whether you're bisexual, heterosexual, gay, it doesn't matter. You're gonna look and you're gonna enjoy and you're gonna want yourself to look good, and that doesn't make you a bad person. It's what's inside aside from that counts, obviously, not what you look like. And the people that judge me based on what I look like, saying that I'm superficial because I even care what I look like, those are the people that are superficial, because they're judging me based on my appearance, judging a person based on something so superficial, and telling me that there's no possible way I can have any redeemable qualities. I'm getting crazy. I've been fucking talking for like 3 hours straight doing these videos. But, yeah, I just think it's pretty silly and hypocritical the way people think sometimes. So that's why I've always been so secure with myself, because for me, I like the way I look. And even when I don't have everything that I consider to be perfect, like right now, I want my lips to be a little bigger still. I have, you know, some things with my chin that I'd like to improve, but I fucking love the way that I look. And I'm very proud of myself for getting to this place where I'm like getting toward my goals, and working toward goals is just such an amazing feeling, whether it's career goals, which I'm also doing, you know, body goals, fitness goals, any goals. Goals are fucking awesome. Getting better at drawing, whatever it is, just fucking follow it. But make sure that you do so with a rational mind, because letting emotions in and getting insecure about things, it's unnecessary. And I know that's easier said than done, but you should definitely try to just work on loving yourself before you make any harsh decisions that change what you look like. Like, don't go into plastic surgery or anything with a modeled emotional mind. Like, make sure you're doing everything psychologically sound, if I can say that properly. But don't let anyone say anything bad about fake boobs. They're fucking amazing. Like, I love fake boobs over natural boobs. If I had real, like, big boobs, I would have gotten them, like, reduced and then put implants in, because they're so fucking awesome. They defy gravity. They're not made of fat. They're so fucking soft and bouncy. It's, like, the most amazing thing in the world. And it's the best investment I've ever made. Best 8K I've ever spent. So don't let anyone, don't let society's misinformation or the stigma around it or religious zealots tell you any differently. It's fucking awesome. But you should decide that for yourself and not have me tell you that. Alright guys, that is a little bit of info on my breast augmentation. I did the F&M video like I said today, and I got the best fucking gifts ever. Like, oh, I almost cried when I got like the last one, and like every single one has been amazing, but you'll have to wait until Friday to see that. So thanks for watching guys. I'm sorry that these are getting kind of long. I just want to be thorough, and I'm in a talking mood even though I'm getting tired of talking because of how long I've been talking. But yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate the support and everything that I do, and I hope I've given you a different perspective on things, and yeah. Bye guys. There's nothing wrong with loving yourself. Don't forget that. That's like the ultimate goal of everyone, is to just be comfortable with oneself and run around naked and be like, yeah, woo, I love it, and if everyone else doesn't like it, fuck you. And I think that's a good tone to go out on.